Hello, this is Jeff from DocuData. In this session, we're going to take a look at how to set up pricing at your record center. We will start out with a general look at price codes and how they work. Then we will look at specific types of charges, starting with storage charges, service charges, and finally, charges that don't fit into either of these categories. From the manual, here is a figure illustrating these three categories of price codes with some more details. Before you get started, it can be useful to organize by mapping your price codes out in a spreadsheet. This template here is available from DocuData and matches the categories in the previous illustration. The price codes highlighted in pink are system-required price codes and must be present in order for the system to function. These will already be present in the system. In green, we see corresponding examples of user-defined price codes. These serve as illustrations to give you ideas and to help you with your mapping process. Feel free to replace them with your own price codes, prices, and descriptions. The top section lists the price codes that relate to your box types, starting with standard archive boxes. Use the column to the left to define any additional price codes that vary for your other box types. The column to the right illustrates the required price codes that will be used if a box volume in your system does not match a defined box type. This is useful for things such as storing unique oversized items that you do not want to define as a box type. Next, we see examples of price codes used to override picking charges for urgent delivery types where we might wish to charge more. And then we see the set of system-required price codes used for working with OpenShelf files. Scrolling down, we see our price codes related to defining our delivery types. We see additional delivery-related charges that can be applied to specific delivery addresses, as well as a reminder that we can apply additional rental type charges to transport containers that stay at a customer site, location rental fees, and web access fees. Special system price codes are used for minimum invoice adjustments, changing cardboard boxes, interfiling, selling standard archive boxes, searching unsuccessfully for files that are ordered, and billing for minutes of labor. We see the price code that is used for charging for electronic storage of images and electronic documents, as well as price codes related to servicing a shredding container type. And finally, some examples of line items and useful price codes for things such as credits and invoice charges. Now let's look at how we can define a price code in the General Pricing module of EDC. On the Accounting tab, open the General Pricing module. The price code must be unique and may contain up to 4 characters, including letters, numbers, and punctuation. If you have GL or General Ledger codes for your price code, you may enter them here. If you do not know what this is, please speak to your accountant. You may come back and set these up later if you wish. These will be used in exporting your invoices to your accounting package for accounts receivable. The description of a price code is how it will show up on invoices, as well as in drop-downs when placing orders, and on the PDT during picking. EDC will select the correct language based on the language settings of the employee or authorized user. This field allows you to set the units of a price code. It will be used for descriptive purposes on the invoice, and in some cases it may have functional implications as well. Units is the most commonly used option and is applied when things are per item or per price code. If the price code is defined in minutes, then 1 unit of this price code will be worth the amount of time specified here at the hourly rate defined in the customer information for the account. With a unit of cubic feet, the price code will be multiplied by the cubic footage of the box type. The unit of megabytes is applied to image and electronic document storage. Note that the image storage price code must be entered as an annual rate. Therefore, take your monthly image storage rate and multiply it by 12 to get the value to enter. Linear feet applies to OpenShelf storage. Each location has a defined number of linear feet, and the client will be billed for their total number of linear feet of storage multiplied by the price which you define here. A unit of deliveries could be applied to trip charges, but in practice people usually just use units for this. And finally, the unit of pounds can be used for things such as shredding. There is no automated functionality associated with this unit type, but you can use it for adjustments added manually to deliveries. If the price breaks for a price code is set to none, then the price code will use the price defined in the line here. With standard price breaks, all of the units of a price code are billed at the same rate, and this rate will depend on the total number of units. With tiered pricing, multiple rates may be in effect at the same time. For example, the first set of items may be billed at the highest rate, the next set of items at a lower rate, and all remaining items at the lowest rate. If the grouped checkbox is selected, then the price will be applied once. If it is not, then it will be applied once per item in the tier or overall. Note that price breaks can be useful on delivery items and line items, but they should not be applied to storage, as adjustments for items added or removed from storage will not come out correctly. Use the customer pricing module instead, which we will see in a few moments. Set fractional quantity to no if only integer amounts of the price code make sense. For example, you cannot buy half of a cardboard box. Combo minimum has to do with how price breaks are applied on delivery handling charges. We will not get into that at the moment. Select the courier checkbox if you wish this to be available as a delivery handling charge. Otherwise, it will not appear in the drop-down list of price codes that can be selected for this purpose. Many price codes appear automatically on invoices based on the boxes that you are storing and the operations that you perform during the month. If you wish to be able to add a price code directly to an order, delivery, or invoice, you must flag it as being a line item. If you mark an item as customer specific, you can make it available to some accounts and not others. You might want to use this if you are storing items for a customer that you wish them to be able to order online. If you do wish to be able to add a line item to an order, then check the order entry checkbox. Check the Record Center only checkbox if the line item should be available to add to orders placed at the Record Center, but not available to the customer online. Examples might include a service charge for placing orders over the phone, or a credit. Marking a line item as pickable will cause it to be included in your picking list. If you create an order where there is nothing to be picked or picked up at the client site, then the order will automatically go to the closed state when you save it, and the associated delivery will automatically be verified. This is very useful for billing purposes. Here you can indicate whether or not a price code is taxable, and if you have the misfortune to have multiple taxes, how the two taxes interact. Use the group setting to determine which section of the invoice the charge will appear on. As with the tax names, these groups can be renamed in the dictionary module if you wish. For line items, you may wish to set the minimum quantity which can be placed on an order. You can also use EDC to track inventory levels of your line items. Use this field here to set the current quantity in stock. Whenever an order is fulfilled, the quantity ordered will be subtracted from this number. If your inventory falls below the minimum quantity, every time you pick an order, you will receive a warning message that you should replenish your inventory. The Apply Commissions setting allows you to determine whether a price code is considered when creating your commissions reports. Finally, if the price code is a trip charge and you use either the item type or item type round-trip delivery billing methods, you can determine if you want to include delivery handling charges for a certain number of items free of charge, and whether it is the most or least expensive items that should be included for free. We will see more on this topic in a few moments. There are several reports available that could be useful. Through the General Pricing module, we can see a list of all the price codes currently in the system, their prices, and a few other parameters. There are many more reports available on the Inventory tab in the Report module. Feel free to explore this and also check out our training video on reports. In many cases, it is useful to run a report, then print it to file so you can work with it in a spreadsheet. Every price code must be defined in General Pricing. However, if we wish to make account-specific pricing, we can override any price code in the Customer Pricing module. Here we can override billing behavior and use the system's tools to apply rate adjustments. Here we see the various fields that we can override. If you enter a new description, this will be used instead, otherwise the standard description will be used. You may copy customer price overrides from one account to another. However, it is more common to create a template and copy and add your new accounts from a template account that already has pricing. Most record centers have an annual cost of living rate adjustment built into their contracts. You can apply this easily to your customer price overrides using the global rate change function. Select the accounts that you wish to apply the rate increases to. This is typically all active customers. However, you may wish to increase prices only for customers that appear in a list, which you may populate by searching, for example, by contract renewal date. Select the price codes that you wish to adjust, and if you start typing the description of a price code, the system will take you right to it. The most commonly used option is to adjust rates by a certain percentage rounded to 2 decimal points. Note that if you wish to decrease the price, you can apply a negative percentage. To increase or decrease price codes that do not have price breaks by a fixed amount, or to replace the current value with a specific value, select the appropriate option here and enter the value to use. You will be prompted to enter your password, and here we see that our price code has been increased by 10%. Now let's look at various storage charges and how to configure them.